Hey everyone, my name is Qasim Khan and this is for Class Business 222, section number 70666, and this is my personal interest company project and about Apple, and this is for Professor Susan Damon, and today's date is 13th of October 2019. Now let's go and talk about history of Apple. The company was founded in late 1970s by three people: Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Mike Birgula. And in April 11, 1976, they launched their first desktop computer, and which later on they launched their second series of desktop computer, and they also made their own operating software, which was called Macintosh, and it was released in the year 1984. The man who is recognized as the creator of Apple is Steve Jobs. He's one of the co-founders, but in the year 1985, Steve Jobs left Apple and founded his own technology company called Next. And as years progressed, in 1986 he bought a animation movie creation company called Pixar. And in 1995, after many errors and trials, he launched his first animated movie called Toy Stories. And in the year 1996, Apple bought Next and offered Steve Jobs a leadership position. And in 2000, Apple hired Steve Jobs as a CEO. In the leadership of being a CEO, Steve Jobs in 2007 launched the first iPhone. Now let's go and talk about the current corporate situation. So Apple is a public company, and the headquarters is located in Cupertino, California. And Apple is mostly known for making creative and stylish products, which are easy to use, and they also make products for personal and office uses. So the company posted a quarterly revenue of $88.3 billion, which is an increase of 13% from last year. So the company is also known for the rivalry with Samsung. So Apple, they make products such as iPhone, iPad, Mac, iPod, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Apple Arcade, AirPods, and operating systems such as iOS, OS X, Watch OS, and they also have iCloud, which is a storage system, Apple Pay, and they also have their own credit card, which is supposed to be better than any other competition. So recently, Apple launched iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, and also a new thing called Apple TV and an arcade system. So the new iPhone has 3 cameras, which is supposed to take a better picture quality than any of the Samsung phones. So the Apple goal for the next quarter is to have a revenue of $60 to $62 billion. So the company hasn't really made any collaborations with any other companies, but Apple still relies on Intel to make the processing chips which are used in most of their products. Alright, now let's go and talk about the corporate climate of Apple. So Apple is a public company. So working in Apple is really friendly since they're retail, so you have a lot of job opportunities in Apple. And most of the times they work with you if you're trying to grow in Apple or work in a leadership program or leadership job roles. So getting into an Apple for simple retail job is actually pretty hard. They have 3 interviews. If you get selected, you go to the first interview, which is in a group interview, which is really weird situation, but it's still Apple's system of interview. Second interview is with an HR. So this interview is one-on-one personal interview, and this third interview is with the actual store manager of the shop. So this interview is really intense and mostly work-related questions and situation-based questions. So if you are lucky enough, you'll get hired in Apple. Apple offers the biggest and the best benefits for the employees. They offer a lot of different benefits which are helpful in the long run. And Apple is also responsible for 2 million jobs in the United States. So Apple's work environment is really friendly and laid back. They don't have a strict dress code policy. They just require you to wear a blue t-shirt with an Apple logo. And they are really friendly with their employees. And by looking at Indeed and all these job sites, I was able to conclude that Apple gets 4 out of 5 rating in a good, friendly environment, workplace. Now let's go and talk about the resume keywords. So getting hired in Apple is not easy. So I would suggest using these 7 terms in your resume. So the first word which I have is team management. The second one is customer service. Third one is engagement. Fourth is communication. Fifth is sales. Sixth is project. And seven is recruiting. I would suggest these words because I personally want to work in a leadership position. And Apple is a retail company, so they require a lot of engagement, a lot of customer interactions, and a lot of communication. So these are the 7 words which I would suggest using in your resume to have a better opportunity and better chances to get hired in Apple. Now let's go and talk about the future projects of Apple. So Apple recently launched iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro. These two phones have 4K resolution, the same resolution which you can expect from TVs. So this screen is really amazing. So the next big step for Apple will be, as our country is progressing and our world is progressing, we're moving towards a faster network, which is 5GE. So Samsung has already launched phones which are capable of using 5G network, but Apple hasn't. So the next big step for Apple will be to launch iPhones which are capable of using 5G network. And the next big thing will be to have more thinner phones and stylish phones. As usual, Apple changes the little things. Recently, Apple got rid of the home button. So now the next big step will be to get rid of the notch on top and a little more tweaks to make the phone look better and more presentable and more stylish. Now let's go and talk about the credits. The first picture which I use is from Apple's Wikipedia page. That's where I got the Apple logo picture from. The second is iPhone 11. That is actual picture from the Apple's website.